And I'm starting to think that Jocelyn isn't completely innocent here either. And that maybe Tedros and her are a perfect match because they're both fucking toxic. No, this whole show is toxic, bitch. I don't know why I'm still watching. Like, I'm fucking forced to be here. Hey, what's cracking like with my community today? My name is Londyn and welcome back to my channel for New Year Wish Poppin'. So you see the title to the thumbnail. Today I am talking about The Idol episode 4. So scene starts off with this security guard that has this little AK-47. I'm like, not the AK-47. And there's Jocelyn's housemates cleaning the inside and outside of the house. And then it cuts to Tedros on the balcony wearing these ugly ass slippers and this robe or a t-shirt with leopard print sleeves. Like, it's giving, I don't know what it's giving, but it's giving some trash. It's giving trash. And as the scene goes on, Jealous Guy by The Weeknd is playing. Like, I feel like this whole series was literally his excuse to put out more music. Like, there's no other reason for it. The Weeknd is literally the whole point of this series. He's literally the reason why the series is the way it is. The reason why this show sucks is because of The Weeknd. And y'all know how much I love The Weeknd, but when Weeknd took control of the script and put in his opinion, what he said was the original show, it led too much into the female role, and he wanted the show to be in the male perspective, which is like, why would you say that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say, Abel. So then it cuts to Tedros and Jocelyn in the bath, and he's shaving her legs. Next scene, the two housekeepers are talking, and they're saying that, I don't know what's with this complex of, like, you know, what he's doing. Like, he's crazy. The other girl's like, it's because he's short. Like, something about the short man complex. Poor girl doesn't know what she's getting herself into. Like, they just talking shit. And then it cuts to the next scene where Isaac is outside stretching, and Leia is just inside watching him through the window, like biting on her nails, holding her drink, just looking creepy as hell. I'm like, we get it. And the fact that there's only 5 episodes of this series, I'm like, this series, like, nothing happened. I feel like there was no crazy plot that just got me be like, oh my god, this show is amazing. Like, this show is actually trash. I'm so sorry. So it cuts to the next scene where Destiny's talking to Han, and she's basically saying that, yeah, Tedros is bad news. His real name is Mauricio Costello Jackson. So this motherfucker on a whole different name. And then Destiny goes on to say that Tedros, aka Mauricio, got arrested back in 2012 for kidnapping his ex-girlfriend for 3 days, beat the shit out of her, and tortured her. So this whole abuse shit that Tedros Mauricio trying to get with Jocelyn, like, he know what he doing. He knows exactly what the fuck he's trying to do. So Destiny says that there's literally a 400-page transcript in detail telling you all this shit he's done to this girl. And then she says he has a whole bunch of other charges. And Han was like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did she let this guy in? And Destiny's like, I don't know, I thought she only fucked white boys. I swear, Destiny my favorite character. Fuck everybody else. Destiny my favorite character. Next scene goes and Leia is literally telling him his schedule as if she works for him. And she's like, okay, first you got a call with Andrew Finkelstein at 10:30. And he's like, nah, cancel that. And then she's like, well, it's a really important call with Andrew Finkelstein. He's like, who? Nah, cancel that. I don't care who it is. And then she's like, okay, Dr. Sugarman's at 1 p.m. And then you have another thing at 2 p.m. He's like, oh, 1 p.m.? No, cancel that. Like, she's literally his assistant as well. And that shit is so bizarre because I'm like, what you want about? What is the problem? Like, are you mad? Yeah, so Tedros has Leia cancel his 1 p.m. because Mike Dean's coming. And then it cuts to Mike Dean coming out of his Tesla. Tesla opens the butterfly doors. He comes out with both a blunt and a motherfucking bong in his hand. And he taking a hit of that shit. I'm like, shit, let's take a hit with your ass. Next scene comes and Tedros meets Mike Dean outside. And he's like, Mike fucking Dean, how the fuck are you? Blah, blah, blah. They go in the house and Mike Dean starts clapping in each room to check the acoustics. So Mike Dean goes into the pool room and he claps and he's like, it's a beautiful house, but the acoustics are fucking trash. And then it goes back to the scene where Leia's reading off his schedule and she says 2 p.m. is a meeting about Jocelyn and Leia's makeup line, skincare line, whatever. Says they've been working on it for a really long time. And then he says something along the lines of like, we're here for Jocelyn, we work for Jocelyn. This line's only for you. We're here for Jocelyn. Cancel it. Like, he's such an asshole. Man, I hope Jocelyn kills his ass next episode. Jocelyn better break up with him at least, at the very, very, very least, because baby, ain't no way I'm finna sit through here and watch him disrespect people like this and not get retaliated on, please. So Mike D finally finds a room that has good acoustics, and he's like, yep, this is it. And he has his crew come and bring all his recording shit. He brought all his damn equipment. So Tedros, aka Mauricio, introduces Jocelyn to Mike Dean, and they get started and start working on their music. Jocelyn's like, I don't want to decide things for myself because I trust you. Tedros is like, that should be the opening line of your song. So cuts back to Leia and Tedros. He's like, Leia, if you're gonna work with me, you're gonna have to grow hair fucking bald. You gone soft. She's like, no, I'm not. He's like, we're here for Jocelyn, right? She's like, yeah, I am most definitely here for Jocelyn. I know that I am here for Jocelyn. And he's like, and it goes back to the scene with Destiny and Han. Destiny was like, can I make a suggestion? I think we should kill this motherfucker. And that line alone got me like, yes, Destiny stan. She the only worthwhile character in this entire series. So with that, Han sends Destiny to the house to be like the spy. So she's gonna go over there, act like she cool, but really she on there to watch their every move and see what's going on. And then Han's like, first thing in trouble, you call me, you let me know what the fuck going on. So Destiny goes into the bathroom while she in the house. She calls Han and she's like, listen, don't text me. I don't want no paper trail. If there's something going on, I will call you, alright? But do not text me. I won't text you either. Shit about to go down. So when Destiny walks out the bathroom, Chloe is there down the hallway, and then she's like, hi, I'm Chloe. Hey Chloe, I'm Destiny. Chloe, like, she's like, and she starts skipping down the hallway. She's like, Destiny is my favorite name. And then Destiny's like, huh, what do you do here, Chloe? And then she's like, I just hang out. I play piano. Cuts to the next scene where Destiny is listening to Chloe play the piano and singing. Destiny is basically giving Chloe a voice lesson. Then it cuts to the next scene where Tedros and his friends and Jocelyn and Leia and all of them are having a party listening to the song. And then Tedros is like, everybody shut up for a second, I'm trying to hear. And then Leia's whispering and stuff, talking to Isaac. And then Tedros is like, Leia, shut the fuck up. Hella disrespectful. Yeah, and so they finally play the song, and then they're like really jamming to. He's like, you hear that? It's fucking hard. Tedros' energy is yucky to me. He is not the Weeknd. So it goes back to scene with Destiny and Chloe. Destiny basically asks how she knows Tedros. Chloe says that she used to be a heroin addict and Tedros found her and saved her life. Destiny asked, where do you live? And she said, oh, I live here in Jocelyn's house. But really, she used to sleep at the club. And then Destiny's like, how old are you? Chloe says 18. Walking around with Tedros at 17, you really see the kind of person that Tedros is, and it just doesn't make the show any more interesting. It just makes the show bad. I'll say this right now, I'm taking the Weeknd fanness out of my head and putting my logic cap on, because this show is really bad. Like, this is probably the worst show I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've watched different bad kids shows when I was a kid and loved it. First of all, if you take away all the sex, all the cigarette smoking, all the drugs and shit, the plot itself is boring. Like, this show is not interesting. Like, you don't know the plot. The story goes back and forth, is wishy-washy, and it's trying so hard to be something when it's really nothing. It's like it's trying to parody itself, but it's like a parody of a parody. When I saw the trailer for this, I did not know what to expect. I thought it was going to be like some dramatic, like, you know, I see a titty every once in a while, but like the story is good and dramatic. Kind of like Euphoria. Like, Euphoria was kind of crazy all over the place, like kind of unconventional, but like it had a storyline to it. It was somewhat interesting. But this is literally just glorified porn. You see dicks bouncing around, you see titties moving. Like, at this point, I'm on the hub. This show had so much potential and it was just washed away because the Weeknd took over it. And that, my friends, is my hot take on this fucking show and the Weeknd. This show is not good. I'm sorry. So it goes back to the listening party and Leia whispers she has to go to the bathroom, and then Tedros like, don't shut the fuck up, Leia. You need to go to the bathroom? You need to go to the bathroom? Oh, we'll wait here in silence. We'll wait here 3 minutes. And Leia's like, no, it's okay. I can wait. And then he's like, Leia, shut the fuck up. Like, what? What is your vendetta with Leia? What is your vendetta with Leia? It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And it goes back to the scene where Destiny is talking to Chloe, and Destiny says, listen, you are a kind-hearted soul. You are genuine. You are real. And this industry is crazy. Next scene goes, Destiny meets up with Tedros in the studio and he plays a song for Destiny. Alright, next scene shows Diane. She's at Magistrate Record and they have a meeting. She meets up with Nikki and literally the rest of the crew, and Nikki is literally overwhelming her with so much information. We want to give you a full ride. Like, I'm talking record deals, I'm talking concerts, albums, your premiere single gonna be world-class singer, da 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 da. It goes back to the scene with Destiny and Chloe. Destiny says, listen, like, don't feel pressure to do anything you don't want to do. If it feels wrong, it's wrong, okay? So it goes back to Destiny at the listening party with Tedros, and then Destiny was like, yeah, I really like the song, I really like it, but it just missing something. Like, in the beginning, she's like, fill the void, yeah. You know, it's anticlimactic, so it just needs a little bit of spice. And then Tedros was like, yeah, I know just the thing. So that motherfucker pulls up a goddamn microphone. He gets an orange ass blindfold. He has Jocelyn stand in front of the microphone. He's like, nobody's here, don't worry about it, get out of your head, nobody's here, nobody's here. He blindfolds her, he lifts her skirt, they play the song, and then she's singing it and she's moaning, and he's with her vajayjay in front of every motherfucking body. Like, I'm talking Isaac, I'm talking Destiny, I'm talking Chloe, every motherfucking body, dude. Like, everyone's just there, like, uncomfortable as fuck. Even Mike Dean is there watching. Destiny goes back in the bathroom. She calls Jaime and she's like, Jaime, there's some kiki ass shit in this house. Like, some fucking S&M shit with this dude. Like, he got Jocelyn getting finger fucked if motherfucking everybody. And it cuts to another scene with Isaac and Leia, and Leia's like, that was kind of weird. Like, it feels weird watching Jocelyn get assaulted, and Isaac's like, assaulted? Yeah, Tedros' methods could be weird sometimes, but like, blah blah blah, reason. The fact that y'all justifying this is really crazy. Yeah, and then Isaac goes on to say, Tedros says there's two types of people, ones that will support you and ones that are obstacles. And then Leia's like, are you calling me an obstacle? And he's like, well, are you? She's like, well, like, I'm just saying, he's just doing it like this kind of mind control. And he's like, mind control? Isaac just looking at her like she's crazy. Like, girl, you don't have to be with him. Like, you don't have to be with him. Kick him out your motherfucking bed. And she's saying, like, he's like using her in front of other people like she's not even a human being. And Isaac's like, she's not a human being, she's a star. Like, oh my goodness. Leia, leave him right now. He got to go. He says stars belong to the world. Cause you belong to the world. You belong to the world. Like, what is this, Kiss Land? Yeah, so Destiny's on the phone with Haim. She's talking about each kid that's like really crazy talented. She's telling him how different they are, but like how talented they are. All while it's showing a montage of Jocelyn like working on some music, writing some music, recording it, all that extra stuff. And it's about a week later. Ooh. Jocelyn is like singing a song and she's like frustrated. She's like crying. She's like frustrated. And she says like, fishbowl choke hole. And Tedros starts laughing. And she's like, what's funny? What's funny? And she goes up to him and slaps him. Destiny's still on the phone with her. She's talking about, yeah, he be putting girls in like restraints and shit, like torture, talking about like tell me your deepest, darkest secret. Like, she's just explaining like he crazy. It cuts to the next scene where Diane's talking to Nikki once again, and Nikki is saying you'll have access to every division, which means majors in all the streaming platforms, and you'll have like merchandise and t-shirts, and overwhelming her with all this information and da 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 da. And Diane, she looks overwhelmed. Like, Diane looks extremely overwhelmed. So next scene shows Jocelyn and Talia on Zoom call, and Talia was asking her, how are you doing? Like, I know you were struggling the other day. Jocelyn was like, yeah, you know, I lost my mom fairly recently. I have my good days and bad days. And then Talia's like, yeah, you're only human, right? Jocelyn's like, yeah, I mean, people keep saying that as if I'm not a human. Next scene shows, and it is Troye Sivan, aka Xander, and he is singing his heart out in the shower, and Tedros is literally stalking him and watching him take a shower while he's listening to him sing. And then Tedros scares Xander. So Tedros is like, hey, why don't you sing anymore? And then Xander's like, I don't know, man, it's complicated. Tedros is like, complicated? Next scene shows Tedros waking everybody up like he's a fucking drill sergeant. He's like, everybody wake up, wake the fuck up, Chloe, get up, Xander, get up. Get your ass up. Like it's a fucking drill sergeant, bitch. This is ROTC up in this bitch. And then everybody lines up in a fucking line, and Xander is putting his arms around a girl named Charlie, and then Tedros is like, Xander, get your hands off Charlie. Stand up straight. Like, what am I watching right now? Tedros is like, what is the definition of family? It's not a mother and a child. That is damus, which is domestic. Family is rooted from famalus, which means to serve. It is our duty to serve our family. Like, what? What? I don't know. Like, I need a backstory on Tedros. Like, if they made this shit more than 5 episodes and gave us some filler plot about each character and like what am I supposed to think about this character, that way I know why they do what they do, it would be way more easy to get into the show better and to immerse. I can't immerse when you're putting sexual things every 5 seconds and there's no type of like plot. Like, what's the plot? What's the main mission of the show? What is the end game of this show? Like, at this point, I think it's literally just a fucking sex tape that they made for themselves so they can jack off to it at home. Both Sam Livingston and fucking Weeknd, because they're both responsible for this damn terrible ass show. Back to Xander and Tedros, and Tedros again asks, so why don't you sing? And then Xander lies. He says, oh, I tore my vocal cords a couple years ago. And Tedros is like, yeah, Jocelyn told me about that, but I heard you sing and you sound great, so you're either fully healed or you're lying. And then Xander's like, what else did Jocelyn tell you? And then he's like, well, he told me that her mom outed you when you were 13 and it crippled you. And then Xander goes quiet. And I guess apparently Xander and Jocelyn were in the same show as kids. He quit the show and then he stopped singing because he had a vocal injury. And then despite all that, he still lived with Jocelyn and her mom. Xander's like, yeah, I didn't know about Julianne until much later, which means he didn't know that she's the one that outed him until much later. And then Tedros is like, you should use the gift that God gave you. And then Xander's like, you think Jocelyn would be okay with that? And he's like, what does Jocelyn have to do anything with it? Tedros again says, why don't you sing anymore? And then after that, Xander's like, well, and then it cuts to the next scene where Jocelyn has got a shot collar and a remote and she's walking down the hallway with it. And she hands Tedros the shot collar. Oh my God, in this part. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and summarize this part and skip through it because I don't want to watch it again. That shit was traumatizing as fuck. Tedros sends Jocelyn to go sit down and everyone's still waiting in line and Tedros calls Xander to the front. Xander steps forward from the line. Tedros pulls up the shot collar. He's like, do you know why I use this? To see what's in people's heart. And then Jocelyn's like, Tedros, can I talk to you for a second? When Tedros goes to talk to Jocelyn, she whispers, I don't think he deserves this. And then Xander tries to make a run for it, and then Isaac and this bald tattoo dude goes after Xander, like, Xander, no, come back here. Both Isaac and the bald tattoo dude catch motherfucking Xander and they hold him down on a couch and they put the shock collar around him. And oh my goodness, this scene is so traumatizing for no reason. At this point, like, this is just to traumatize me for no reason. Like, this is like the most unnecessary scene of the entire series. So when she's like, I think this is a little bit extreme, he's like, what's extreme is my solitude, my devotion to you. All you gotta do is tell me when he's lying. She's like, they're holding him down on the couch. They tie his arms and his legs together and they put the shock collar on him. Xander's scared. He's like, Chloe, please, like, somebody. Tedros got the remote, okay? Tedros got the remote. Keep this in mind. Long story short, Xander is talking about how Jocelyn's mom made Xander sign a contract to stop singing because she was threatened by Xander and blah, blah, blah. Tedros is asking Xander, why didn't you tell anybody that Jocelyn's mom was beating her? And then he says, she asked me not to tell anybody, so I didn't. And then Jocelyn's like, that's not fucking true, Xander. Xander's like, her mom did not like that I was a good singer, so she made me sign a contract. And then Jocelyn's like, what the fuck did you say? That is not true. Tedros shocks him again. Xander is like, you don't understand the years that this bitch is taking away from me. The career I could have had, I could have been successful, but this bitch likes to control everything and everyone around her. She's tearing up. She's like, that's not true. That's not true. And I'm starting to think that Jocelyn isn't completely innocent here either. And that maybe Tedros and her are a perfect match because they're both fucking toxic. No, this whole show is toxic, bitch. I don't know why I'm still watching. Like, I'm fucking forced to be here. And Jocelyn's like, you moved into my house since you were 14 and you've used me for all my worth and yet you're still sitting here and lying. And then Xander's like, I didn't fucking lie, you stupid bitch. And Xander's like, you are more fucked up and depraved than your bitch cut of a mother. I'm like, ooh. So Jocelyn's like, shock him again. Xander's like, please don't fucking shock me again. Please don't fucking shock me again. Even Tedros is looking like, I think I made a mistake here. Oh my goodness. Troye Sivan, y'all, is a good actor because I believe he's actually getting shocked, dude. Troye Sivan needs a raise. And then eventually they torture him so bad that he just admits to saying that he's lying, even though I don't think he's lying. It cuts to the next scene. They're doing another song, talking about some tough love. If The Idol ever comes out with another part, like a season 2, I'm not talking about it. I might still watch it, but I'm not talking about it. Destiny gave Tedros some notes about the song, talk about Jocelyn's voice needs more grit. what? And then he's like, oh, I think the song's fine. And then Jocelyn whispers like, I think you need to get some sleep because you've been having a little too much blow. He's like, I haven't had too much blow. I haven't had any blow. Next scene is literally nighttime now. Xander is still laying there with the rope still tied around his back and his legs, and he's still got the shock collar on his neck, and he's just like, he's barely moving. He's traumatized. I don't need to be traumatized with this dude, okay? I don't. This is not what I signed up for. I signed to see The Weeknd shirtless. I didn't sign up to see Troye Sivan getting fucking mollywopped with a fucking shock collar. Isaac is there pulling his pants down. He got a bucket with some soap and he scrubbing Xander because Xander, he's literally peed himself at this point. And Xander's just there taking it. He's just sitting there taking it. And I'm like, dude. And then it switches to a scene with Destiny and Jocelyn talking. And Destiny's like, I couldn't help but notice Tedros' tattoos. Like, what do you know about his past? And then Jocelyn's like, we're still getting to know each other and they're prison tats. So, you know, he's been in prison a couple times. He's very sensitive about it. And so he doesn't really like talking about it with a lot of people. But yet he literally forces you to talk about your past trauma in front of everybody. I don't keep secrets from these people. I'm not gonna let you keep secrets either. But yet he literally keeping a secret about what his fucking real name is. Mauricio. Jocelyn tells Destiny this whole ass bitch ass story that Tedros told her, saying that he had an ex-girlfriend who was crazy and that they would always fight a lot, and they had a fight one day and she punched him and that he was trying to defend himself, and she turned around and told the police that he was one abusing her. Tedros had this work situation where it was him and a bunch of artists and they were trying to exploit him for money, and so they all collectively attacked him and told the police that he was their pimp, and he got arrested. He was put in jail for 6 years. Tedros is good at manipulating because ain't no way you believe that he's just completely and totally innocent in all this, Jocelyn. Ain't no way that blonde hair is real, that you're just this dumb. Lily Depp Rose, honey. Jocelyn's sleeping and then Tedros goes in her room and he's like, wake up. You want to sell tickets, right? You gotta go public. And she's like, with what? Next scene goes, Jocelyn is going live on camera, like on her phone, and she's literally telling the whole world what her mother did to her. And then it shows Tedros' group of friends listening to her talk about her fucking sob story on the phone, crying on camera, and they're all listening to her. And it's just fucking weird. And they all give her a round of fucking applause like she ate that shit. Like she was making fucking apology video. Like, bitch, I'm so done. I'm so done with this show. Next scene goes, a whole party, everybody doing cocaine and shit. It's a fucking bong with a cocaine in it. And Leia is trying to keep the place clean, so she gets the bong or whatever and she puts the wood under the light because it's teat, so it needs to be clean. I don't know. Tedros like, are you fucking serious? You're ruining the whole night and you're being a bitch for no fucking reason. It's never that serious. And Tedros has this water gun. It's full of tequila. And then he's like, oh, let me show you something. And he starts spraying Leia. She's like, stop, stop, stop. And she gets upset and she walks away. And everyone's like, oh, come on, Leia. Don't be like that. Come on, Leia. Like, shut the fuck up, dumbass nigga. This show is so bad. And for fucking once in this entire series, Jocelyn finally defends Leia. And then Jocelyn's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's my best friend. Like you just embarrassed her in front of everybody. He's like, you're not actually mad about that. And she's like, she doesn't fucking like you. Why would she like you? And then she walks away. He's like, Jocelyn, come on now, Jocelyn. So next scene, Jocelyn's sitting down with Chloe, and then Jocelyn's like, what'd you take? And then Chloe's like, Molly. Chloe spots Diane. She's like, oh, Diane's here. And then Diane goes up to Tedros and he's all like flirty and being all grabby, touchy all over her and stuff. Jocelyn's like, what do you mean? And then Chloe's like, let's just hope she's not mad at you. And Jocelyn's like, why would she be mad at me? And then Chloe's like, cause of you and Tedros. And when Diane brought you to the club, she didn't think that Tedros would fuck you. And then this is where Jocelyn finds out that Tedros is not the dude he said he is. And Destiny's sitting there. Jocelyn looks at Destiny. She giving her that face like, now you seen it? So Diane sits down with Jocelyn. She tells her she got signed with Nicki and that Nicki wants her first single to be World Class Sinner, and she wanted to ask Jocelyn if she was okay with it. Jocelyn starts crying and she's like, oh, I'm just very happy for you. Like, that's it. Even though Jocelyn finna get her motherfucking revenge, bitch. And mind you, while Diane and Jocelyn having this whole conversation, Tedros is standing there looking guilty as fuck, like, wonder what they talking about. Just looking like suspicious as fuck, like he knows something about to go down. Jocelyn texts her ex Rob and Rob shows up to the house. Next scene shows Destiny and Tedros. Tedros is like, listen, if you take a hit of this, I'm an open book. Tell me whatever you want. She's like, you an open book? He's like, yeah. Destiny takes a hit. I don't think she takes a hit of the cocaine. And then she's like, oh shit, is that Rob, Jocelyn's ex over there? He said, huh? I'll be right back. Tedros goes to talk to Jocelyn's ex. And then he walks away and she's like, bitch ass. Tedros goes to see Rob. He's like, hey Rob, you want a shot? Rob's like, yeah, sure. Tedros pours 2 shots and they cheers. And he said, so who invited you here, Rob? Jocelyn. When did she invite you? Tonight. Takes another shot. What time? And then he's like, how you know Jocelyn? And Tedros is like, let's take another shot, huh? And Tedros just taking shots and shots and shots and shots, getting belligerent. No, he taking shots back to back to back. He coughing, he like gagging, he throwing up almost. And then Rob's like, are you sure you want to take another one? And then Tedros is like, what are you, F-slurred? Rob's like, I'm just concerned for you, man. Tedros is like, you're an actor, right? Every actor I know is a fucking F-slur. And then Tedros starts laughing hard as fuck. Hold on, I need y'all to hear this.
Anybody gotta take it up the ass to get these roles out here?
Just belligerent. And all of a sudden he's like, whoa! And he starts like punching the air. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Does some karate like, whoa, whoa. And so basically they just like air fighting, right? And then Rob's like, you know, as long as we keep a good distance, we good. He's like, all right. Tedros is like, whoa, whoa, like on the verge of almost punching Rob. While they play fine, Jocelyn screams and jumps up into Rob's arms in front of Tedros. And she's doing this to punish his ass for being manipulative. And I'm so glad she finally noticed. Rob's like, by the way, have you met the Kung Fu Master here? And then she looks straight at Tedros. She's like, no, I don't know who he is. Come on, let's go to my bedroom. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and summarize this part. Rob and Jocelyn are in the room. They're having some small talk and foreplay and stuff. And then he's like, why didn't they talk to me? And da-da-da-da. They get it on. And then Tedros is outside the door listening. And he got some crocodile tears. After Jocelyn and Rob done with their business, he walked downstairs and Rob's about to leave. And then Xander and a girl named Sophie. Apparently Sophie's a big fan. And they kind of have Rob do an inappropriate picture with the fan. And then they kind of manipulate Rob into doing this picture. I guess they're gonna use it in some way in the next episode. I don't know. We'll see. Alright y'all, but that's it for today's video. Okay, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to big thumbs up, subscribe for more. Also turn on my post notifications, that way you get notified when I upload twice a week. Boo. I also have social medias, I'll be linked down below. Okay. I love y'all so much you don't even know, and I'll see y'all next motherfucking video. Okay. Peace.